What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again with another video, continuing the Toronto Maple Leaf player preview series that I've been doing on this channel. Today is Jack Campbell, a nice guy. Everybody talks about Jack Campbell being a great guy. I wish I could meet this guy. Everybody that meets him and stuff like that say he's a great guy. I actually met Hutchinson, and he was a great guy. So maybe backup goaltenders are just good dudes. You know what I mean? But Jack Campbell is a guy that's very interesting because we've heard a lot of people talk about the fact that the Leafs might be interested in Jack Campbell taking on a bigger role going into this year and maybe taking on a bigger role once Freddie Andersen leaves. So that's something that we're going to have to talk about. I don't think that Jack Campbell is a bona fide starting goaltender, but it's something that we have to at least consider. Now, I've been very, very vocal in the past about saying that I don't think it's going to happen. But damn, now with all this cap restraints and stuff like that, I'm starting to think that maybe they'll give him a look. Now hear me out. If he doesn't play well enough this year, the Leafs can't just be like, oh, well, because of money, he's the starter. No, they're going to look into something else. They're going to figure something else out. But Jack Campbell's interesting. He's got some good numbers, and we're going to have to look into it. So if you are new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Join the squad. Lots of videos coming up. I've been trying to post as much as possible for you guys, but this is going to be a lot of fun because I actually am a huge fan of Jack Campbell and I want him to succeed. I'd love for him to be a starting goaltender, but I'm not sure what the Leafs are thinking in terms of him being a starter. So let's look at some numbers here. So 28 years old, he hasn't, he's not in that 30 to 35 range where starting goaltenders are kind of set in stone in their prime, whatever. He's still on the younger side. I'm not saying he's young, but he's on the younger side. 6'2", 197. So he's a bit of a taller guy. It's a little deceiving because when you watch him on TV, I'm not like, whoa, that guy's huge. But 6'2", 197. He's a bigger guy. Obviously shoots left. Most goaltenders do in the NHL. But 26 games played, 2.80 goals against, and a 904 save percentage. That's not terrible numbers. That's pretty good for a backup goaltender. Now, looking at the 1920 season for just the Leafs, he had a 263 and a 915. So very, very solid numbers here. Like I'm okay with those numbers. That's great. And then for Los Angeles, not the best, but Los Angeles didn't have the greatest team. That's the total there. So you see Toronto, Los Angeles, and then the total for that season. That's why there's three 1920s there. In the 1819 season, 2.30 goals against and a 928 save percentage in 31 games. Not the biggest, sample size, but let's just say the Leafs go with Campbell for 30 games and then pick up another goaltender, or maybe they go with Campbell for about 35 games, right? And then they pick up another goaltender that can, pick up some more games, or maybe they can push Campbell to 40 to 42 starts, and he puts up kind of, maybe a 270 goals against and a 915 save percentage. I'd be okay with that. You know what I mean? Like, I would be definitely okay with that. So it's something to really think about. I was not on board with that. I didn't think it was a possibility. But now if you really look into it, it kind of makes sense for them to at least give Jack Campbell a shot this year at playing, 15 to 20 games. But, to save Freddie, his health and stuff like that, to make sure he's fresh. But it's also for them to kind of figure out what they have in Jack Campbell and how many games that he can play and give them an opportunity to see what he's really about. So that's interesting. These numbers are very, very interesting. Even before that, in 5 games, he had good numbers. But again, small sample sizes. I see people bring up these numbers all the time. You can't, put a goaltender that started 20 games against a goaltender that started 65, because the guy that's played 65 games has a lot more opportunities to be worse or a lot more opportunities to be better. So you can't do that. It's impossible. So looking at his cap hit, now this is where it's very interesting. 1.650 goals against. His cap hit is 1.65. Wake up, Andrew. 1.65 for this season and the following season. So this season, I mean the upcoming 2020-21 season. And then the 2021-22 season, again at 1.65. If you've got Jack Campbell at that number, and you can get a backup goaltender for around the same number that can split games once Freddie's gone if they don't hold on to Freddie, and Campbell gives you good numbers and that backup can give you decent numbers, Man, the Leafs will be saving some money. They can invest that into, guys like Hyman or Morgan Riley once those deals come up, and that would be nice. So I like that cap hit. Looking at his previous history here, he's never been a goaltender that's made a ton of money. He's always been, a cheaper goaltender. And this 1.6 is the Leafs investing in him and locking him up for 2 years. This is, it's the signing team says Los Angeles Kings. And oh yeah, I forgot that's the team that signed him. This is a good deal. And why I said the Leafs locking him up is because they didn't really have to acquire that contract. They didn't have to acquire him at 1.6. They could have traded for another goaltender. So they technically are investing that 2-year extension into him, even though he didn't sign it as a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I should have made that a lot clearer. This deal was signed with Los Angeles, but technically the Leafs are investing this money because they knew that he had a contract extension that was kicking in. My fault for not mentioning that because that is a little confusing. But definitely a good number at 1.6. The Leafs are definitely okay with paying Jack Campbell that number. And like I said, his statistics, looking at him in this past season, it's something that the Leafs are willing to invest in for the next couple of years. The goals against, the save percentage, everything is really, really good. And I think that if you're going to win games, you have to have two solid goaltenders. And Jack Campbell is definitely a guy that you can have as a backup and be very confident that he's going to win you. He's going to win you some games. Now, a lot of Leaf fans haven't been happy with, Hutchinson and stuff like that. And now Hutchinson's back with the Leafs, but he'll be with the Marlies more than likely and be a fourth string goaltender. They also have Aaron Dell. So the Leafs are deep at the goaltender position this year. And it's going to, hopefully help out if there's injury or if they can carry an extra guy on the taxi squad or whatever they have to do. So I'm very pleased with the Leafs goaltending situation this year because it's also going to be good if Freddie Anderson doesn't play good. Well, it won't be good for Leaf fans, but it'll be good that you have a guy like Jack Campbell that, you can at least rely on if Freddie's not going to be able to start games this year and not be able to give you the proper starts that a starting goaltender should. It's insurance. It's all about insurance, having that guy that can step up and make a big save for you. And I like the way Campbell plays. I think that he's pretty calm and cool, collected type of guy. He's funny. He seems really cool. So I'm glad that he's a Maple Leaf and for the next couple of years and maybe potentially their new starting goaltender if Freddie moves on. It'll be interesting to see, but let me know what you guys think. Leave some suggestions, comments, your predictions for Jack Campbell down below. Do you see him as a starting goaltender in the future, or will the Leafs have to upgrade at that position? Just predict, all right? Leave some predictions for me, and maybe we can come back and look at those and see who was right. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe if you're new, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video or stream. Peace.